Alright guys, I am back with my review of TNA's Bound for Glory 2013. And starting with the pre-show, which my DVR said was in Phoenix, even though it's in San Diego. We see the BroMans backstage and they meet up with Big Bro Phil Heath, Mr. Olympia. And I guess he's friends with them for the night. Then we get some Hall of Fame stuff. Bad Influence versus Chavo and Hernandez is the first match in the Tag Team Gauntlet. Daniels rolls up Chavo, eliminating them. Then it's Joseph Park and Eric Young. Park and Young eliminate Bad Influence after a Samoan drop on Christopher Daniels. So Bad Influence is pissed off. They beat them up afterwards, and Joseph Park is helped to the back. So it's just Eric Young, and the BroMans come out, and they think, hey, this is going to be a piece of cake. They start beating up Eric Young, but he keeps kicking out of everything, and eventually the BroMans hit the Spinebuster double clothesline combo for the win. So it's going to be BroMans versus Storm and Gunner later on. Backstage, Eric Young finds Joseph Park, and there's blood on the wall. So he freaks out, and he tells everybody to get back. And then Bully Ray comes out and says everyone thinks the Aces and Eights is just about finished, but that's what he wants you to think. And tonight at Bound for Glory, it's going to be the resurrection of the Aces and Eights. The Ultimate X match for the X Division title with Manic, Aries, Hardy, Joe, and Sabin. And seeing the structure reminded me of that match with Trent Beretta. Weren't they going to do something with Trent Beretta? But anyways, Jeff Hardy brings in a ladder. And someone said on the Facebook page that ladders aren't allowed in Ultimate X matches. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what's allowed, what's not allowed anymore. It's all just a big fucking free-for-all at this point. So Hardy brings in a ladder, but I guess if you can bring in a ladder, why don't you just do that in every single Ultimate X match ever? And Sabin pushes Aries and Manic off of the ladder, and then he just starts messing with Jeff Hardy instead of trying to climb up and get the title. So he's messing with Hardy. Hardy hits the Twist of Fate on Sabin. Sabin tells Velvet Sky to get in the ring and stop him. He makes her get in the ring, and while Hardy's distracted, Sabin runs up and grabs the title. So Sabin is the new X Division champion. The match itself, it was an okay match, but really nothing special at all. No big spots, no climbing up to the top of the structure or anything like that. It was pretty average. Bad Influence comes out, and they say it's an embarrassment. They're not wrestling for the tag titles tonight, and Christopher Daniels says they've been treated like the stepchildren of TNA, and they are TNA. And he says the company likes to throw swerves and curves out there for all the bags of douche, and they like to add people to matches at the last second. This was an amazing promo. So Eric Young comes out and he says they created a monster and they should run. So they put the boots to Eric Young, and Abyss comes out. He hits the Black Hole Slam on both of them and helps Eric Young up. So I don't know what the point of this was. He didn't have the television title with him. Gunner and Storm cut a promo on the BroMans and how they should be prepared for a fight. It's Storm and Gunner versus the BroMans for the tag titles. This was a good match. I like this match. And I like the BroMans. But it's hard to take them seriously when they've been booked like jokes forever. Robbie E has been treated like a joke since he came to TNA. Same thing with Jesse. So now just all of a sudden we're supposed to take these guys seriously like they're an actual threat. But it was a good match. Storm gets a big ass cut on his leg. The BroMans hit the clothesline spinebuster combo for the win. New tag team champions. Phil Heath was at ringside with them. Big Bro, Mr. Olympia. He did nothing except take his shirt off and pose. Sting inducts Kurt Angle into the Hall of Fame, but Kurt Angle declines because he doesn't feel worthy. This was weird. Dixie Carter tells Ethan Carter that she has picked the perfect opponent for him. And then they both say, it's like a family saying or something, the world needs us, we're the Carters. ODB versus Brooke versus Gail Kim for the Knockouts title. Taz says something like he was talking to one of these girls, I can't remember who, at Fan Access instead of Fan Interaction or whatever TNA calls it. And he says, I must be thinking back to 2006. Taz completely lost on commentary during this match. Another funny thing I noticed was Brooke's biker tassels falling off her boots. And something that bothered me about this match, Taz came across as a really big pervert. And on commentary, he made it sound like Brooke Tessmacher is a prostitute that the Aces and Eights just all have sex with all the time. That's exactly what he made her sound like. And I thought it was really just kind of disrespectful. But ODB, or the ref takes a bump, ODB hits the TKO on Gail Kim on top of Brooke, and Lady Tapa comes out. And she takes out ODB, she kills Brooke with a powerbomb, and then Gail covers Brooke and gets the win. So new Knockouts champion, Gail Kim, and afterwards we find out that Lady Tapa is basically Gail Kim's Tamina. The BroMans are celebrating backstage. They're shaking protein shakes instead of champagne. Rude cuts a promo on Angle, says he's more worthy of a Hall of Fame induction, brings up how he made Kurt Angle tap on Impact. It's Angle versus Rude. Angle gets Rude in the ankle lock, and he's about to pass out. And the ref goes to raise his hand, and Rude grabs the ropes. And the announcers are like, whoa, whoa. So I don't know if this is going to go somewhere or not. But Kurt Angle hits the Angle Slam off the top, and both guys are out. However, Rude makes it up before the ref gets to 10. Then he falls on Kurt Angle and gets the win. Yes, Kurt Angle hits the Angle Slam on Rude off the top rope. Rude gets up, falls on Angle, and gets the win. That's exactly what happened here. They play it up like Kurt Angle is injured. They bring out a stretcher, but he gets off the stretcher and walks out. It was a good match, but a weird finish. Bully is backstage talking to some aces who we can't see. It's implied they're former members. EC3, Ethan Carter III versus Norv Furnham. He's a jobber who looks like Tom Green. Probably weighed like 130 pounds. And EC3 hits the Dean Ambrose DDT for the win. Nothing really special here at all. It was a squash match for the most part. EC3 reminds me of Rick Martel though. And he could have potential. I just don't have any faith in TNA to do anything good with him. Magnus says he's got a date with Destiny and she's getting impatient. It's Magnus versus Sting. Sting did wrestle in a t-shirt, and they actually played it up like the shirt was sending Magnus a message. Very lame stuff. But I gotta tell you guys, those Scorpion Deathlocks, my God, they looked brutal. How could any man survive those vicious holds? Sting was barely holding Magnus's legs up. Barely. I mean, it's like, I don't even know how to describe this, but he was basically laying flat on the mat. So anyways, Sting taps to the Texas Cloverleaf. I'm glad Magnus won the match here. Match itself was okay. It's about what you would expect from Sting. I mean, he's over 50 years old. I'm just happy they let Magnus beat this man. But yes, Sting, I mean, he needs to have a role like Hogan had where he just talks. He doesn't need to wrestle anymore. I mean, this is just ridiculous. He's like Kiss, the band Kiss. You can cover up a lot with makeup, but at the end of the day, you can only do so much. Bully cuts a promo saying AJ's in his jungle. It's Bully versus AJ for the world title, no DQ match. Bully comes out to the rare Aces and Eights theme that actually has lyrics. Brooke Tessmacher's back out there with him even after that powerbomb. Garrett runs out, distracts AJ, throws Bully the hammer. AJ gets it from him, doesn't use it. Nux runs out, choke slams AJ, he kicks out. Bully accidentally knocks out Nux, so he leaves. AJ gets the hammer, refuses to use it. Instead he goes for a springboard. 450 to the outside. Bully moves and AJ goes through a table. This was badass. Very cool spot here. In fact, AJ took some really sick bumps in this match. Bully cuts up the ring. And then he calls for the Aces. No one shows up. So those Aces he was talking to backstage earlier, I have no idea what the point of that was. Dixie comes out. She hands Bully a chair. And AJ knocks it into Bully's face. Then he hits the springboard 450. And the ref is about to make the count. Dixie's telling the ref not to, but he starts to make the count anyways. But by this point, Bully's regained himself and kicks out. So AJ hits Bully with a chair, hits the spiral tap for the win, and becomes the new world champion. Then he leaves through the crowd and gets mobbed by fans. And that was it. That was the end of Bound for Glory 2013. I thought this was a pretty average show. Actually, this would be average for a regular pay-per-view, let alone Bound for Glory, the biggest show of the year for TNA. So I thought it was pretty disappointing. Just nothing special at all. AJ won the title, but the match itself was just okay. AJ really worked hard, but it didn't have an impact. It didn't feel like something awesome was accomplished here. It just felt like, yeah, AJ won the title, and that was about it. The rest of the show, the BroMans are the new tag team champions. Is that news? You had Rude versus Angle, which was a good match, but the finish was like, what the hell? And then you had Magnus versus Sting, really. So yeah, I didn't really expect a lot from this pay-per-view, and I can't say it really disappointed me because I didn't expect a lot going in, but it pretty much lived up to what I expected. Just an average show with a weak card. No match was really stand out. The Ultimate X match even, that was just okay too. So not a big fan of Bound for Glory 2013. So anyways, that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on Bound for Glory in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye. On combo for the win. So it's going to be BroMans versus Storm and Gunner later on. Backstage, Eric Young finds Joseph Park, and there's blood on the wall. So he freaks out, and he tells everybody to get back. And then Bully Ray comes out, them. Then it's Joseph Park and Eric Young. Park and Young eliminate Bad Influence after a Samoan drop on Christopher Daniels. So Bad Influence is pissed off. They beat them up afterwards, and Joseph Park is helped to the... Alright guys, I am back with my review of TNA's Bound for Glory 2013. And starting with the pre-show, which my DVR said was in Phoenix, even though it's in San Diego. We see the BroMans backstage back. So it's just Eric Young, and the BroMans come out, and they think, hey, this is going to be a piece of cake. They start beating up Eric Young, but he keeps kicking out of everything. And eventually the BroMans hit the Spinebuster double clothesline. They meet up with Big Bro Phil Heath, Mr. Olympia. And I guess he's friends with them for the night. Then we get some Hall of Fame stuff. Bad Influence versus Chavo and Hernandez is the first match in the Tag Team Gauntlet. Daniels rolls up Chavo, eliminated.